Hi guys, Artiar here. So for this video, we're going through Tetsuya, which is the shark Esper we have for this summer patch. So the method to obtain Tetsuya, for those who didn't know, is Keepsake Esper. Alright. So Keepsake Esper is the one that you play through the event, or you get it through the event mission, the team show here. You're gonna get the currency to summon for his Keepsake. Then with the Keepsake here, you are able to fuse. Let me see, where is it? Here. Alright, so when you get it, or it Keepsake, you're gonna get one copy of Tetsuya. So if you don't really want to buy the pass, because if you buy the battle pass, then you're able to get R1 to R2 or probably even R3 based on your luck. You're gonna get a frame here. This frame is actually very cool. Like there's a shark head here with the surf, very nice, and then we have a frame here and also the icon of a shark. But if you don't want to buy the battle pass, as long as you, as a free to play, you obtain one copy of Tetsuya, you are able to get it through club sticker. Alright, so when you go to the club here, when you request for the fragment, you are able to request for it for one Ripple per day. Or if you have the Ripple box save, then you are able to convert it into the Tetsuya Ripple as well. So unlike the other meta Esper, Tetsuya is actually an Esper that can be club Ripple and also Ripple box, something like Sujie, Slon, and Yokane. So Tetsuya is the fourth Esper that is limited that is able to do that. So as long as you have one copy, you can slowly build his Reso. Alright, now let's take a look at his kit, what he actually does. Okay, so this is the model. To be honest, very nice model. I'm not a furry, but I'm still loving his model. It's very cool. Very cool design. You can see at the skin here, there's also like shiny kind of water, like probably water on his skin, so very shiny. And then you notice the pants here in the middle is actually transparent, so in a way you can actually look through it if he actually squat. So from this side here, you can see there's a white color band, and but if you look it from this side, you can also see like the the underwear thing. And then the shark tail at the back here is also able to wiggle. Then overall, this is the 3D model. Very cool, I would say. Very nice. Alright, then Captain Leader buff, universal attack. If you go to level 70, you can go for universal attack 40%. Rival rune here is going for attack and Avatara. 5,481 attack is, I would say, is actually one of the highest attack rival runes that you can have. Like for example, Zhou here is 5,200. If we look at Osana here, is 4,400. If we look at Elif, 4,000 something. Most of the other Esper as a fighter, they are around 4,000 something. Like Sujie is 4,700. If we look at like Embla, for example, 4,800. If we look at Brewster, 4,300. Usually they are 4,000 something. There are only two Esper, if not mistaken, that's actually higher attack than him, which is gonna be Iki, 6,500, and Moriyama, 6,900. Moriyama is built different. Okay, so for example, Sick here, rival rune wise, 4,600. So Tetsuya rival rune attack is actually, I would say, the third highest. I'm not sure if it's third highest, but very high attack on his rival rune. Okay, then Ascension here, we're gonna have a mixture of HP, crit damage, and attack percentage in his stats. Then for S1 here, very easy. Attack one enemy 2 times. Every hit here can dispel one buff to the from the target. So 120% multiplier, and then you can punch 2 times, so dispel 2 buff. And talking about buff, look at the Divinate here. Before casting the S3, you are able to dispel 3 buff from the target first. And this dispel here cannot miss, cannot be resist. So it's guaranteed dispel 3 buff away from that target and do massive amount of damage. Then this is the Divinate art. Alright. Okay, then the passive. Passive, Tetsuya always prioritize attacking the enemy in the corresponding position. So if he is at the 5th slot, he will target the 5th slot first. And based on my testing, after he hit the 5th slot, if the 5th slot Esper died, then his attacking order will be from 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, something like that. So if you put Tetsuya at the 3rd slot, he killed the 3rd slot, then he was starting from 1, 2, 4, 5. Always start back from the 1st position. And if you're wondering, manual won't work on him. So he won't listen to your command, alright? So he's a shark and he won't listen to your command. So if you put him at a 3rd position and if you want him to actually target the 5th guy manually? No, he won't follow your orders. Alright, so when you press attack, he will just go for the third position, something like that. I'll show you case lead later at the back of the video. Then Tetsuya, you'll get 30% AP when the target in the corresponding position take action. This is for PvP. Okay, this is for PvP. So if you put at 5th position and the 5th position target actually take action, then Tetsuya will get 30% AP push. Then he gains 10% AP when the enemy boss is attacked. So if in PvE situation, if you fighting a boss content, then if the boss get attacked, then you'll get 10% AP push. Every turn can only trigger one time. Alright, so basically he can get AP push pretty fast in a PvE content. I haven't tried him in PvE in a live stream because we have been testing Tetsuya and JV in the live stream, so I haven't tried him in the PvE bosses, but basically that's how it works. Then he will get Umbrage at the start of combat for 2 turns. So Umbrage is the... he himself will form into a shark inside the water, just keep turning there. He will immune to petrification and freeze, and if stealth is active, which is Umbrage is active, and he's not the last one standing, then there's a stealth built in, then he will take 80% less damage from AoE ability. If there's an AoE damage coming in, because he's in Umbrage, then he will reduce 80% damage of it. Okay, then S3, it looks very long, but to be honest, it's actually very easy to understand. Attack 1 hit, only 1 hit, not multi-hit, is 200% attack. If you max it out, it will be 350% one punch attack. If the target is a boss, the damage increased by 50%. So this is for PvE content. Okay, so the condition for him to actually ignore their defense is the enemy is not buffed. So if the enemy is actually buffed, then you can, the amount of defense you can ignore is lower down. But because you have the Divinate here, that can actually dispel 3 buff, so most of the time you are actually able to trigger this 70% defense ignore, which makes him actually pretty strong, especially, so let's say Suizai, for example. So Suizai cannot get buff, right? Because Golden Realm buff doesn't count as a buff. So in a way, he can actually ignore 70% of Suizai defense by R0 himself, because Suizai cannot get buff. Okay, something like that. So this is the defense ignore part. Then when Umbrage is active, which is the passive is active, killing an enemy will extend the Umbrage by 2 turns. If it's not active, then it will give you 2 turns of Umbrage. So this is pretty easy. So if you kill someone, then you extend the buff. If you kill someone but you don't have the buff, then you get the buff. If the target isn't killed, then you will remove Umbrage after taking action. So you kind of want to ensure Tetsuya able to one punch the enemy, so he can keep on maintaining himself in Umbrage, or else he will go up to Umbrage. So this is the cons part. Like, this is the part that you will actually make Tetsuya weak, is because you really want Tetsuya to able to one punch the target, or else without the Umbrage, then you don't have the defense ignore, the damage mitigation, and you won't able to immune to petrification and freeze. If the target is a boss, always regain Umbrage for 2 turns. So if you play him in PvE, he will always be in Umbrage, streaming there. Alright, so this is the S3. Overall, he kind of gives me a feeling of Moriyama. He has similarity with Moriyama, but differently. Alright, I'll show you some of his advantage in terms of why, if we compare with Moriyama, he's actually at disadvantage. But I'm going to show you some of his advantage part later on at the video. Then Reso here, R1, final damage increase. R2, if the enemy is not buffed, ignore 100% of the defense. So instead of 70%, the moment you reach R2, then ignore 100% of the defense, basically making his damage into able to crit true damage. A true damage they can crit. Then R4 here is something like Moriyama, but different as well. So this R4 here, when he take a little damage, he won't die. Instead, he will dispel all his debuff, recover 50% HP, and instantly get Umbrage, so instantly trigger his passive again. While Moriyama one is when Moriyama take little damage, Moriyama won't die, and then he will stay survive until he casts one S3. Or else, if the S3 kill you, then he survive. If he don't kill you, then he will die. So it kind of like Moriyama, but different as well. Then for R6, killing an enemy reset all the ability cooldown, basically resetting his S3, make him to able to spam S3 again. When Umbrage is active, attack ignore 25% of the target mitigation. So now you can ignore 100% of the defense and 25% of the damage mitigation. So if the target have 100% of damage mitigation, which you don't have, right? Usually is around max 50%. So you can reduce the 50% of 22% of it, then you can ignore part of it. So basically make him easier to one-shot the target. So overall, you can think him as a alternative of Moriyama build that doesn't hit multi-hit. Something like that. Because if you compare with Moriyama is actually doing multi-hit in his S3, and the multi-hit here can go up to 90%, is 5 times, so basically it's a 450% multiplier and is separate into 5 hit. While Tetsuya is a 1 punch that does very high damage that can ignore 100% of defense and 25% of damage mitigation. Moriyama here is ignore 85% defense but totally ignore all damage mitigation. So it gives me a vibe that Tetsuya is a alternative of Moriyama, but he does single target hit. Not a single target hit, only one hit, unlike Moriyama is actually doing multi-hit. Alright, now let me show you some of his in-game performance. Alright, so this is how it will work. So if you put Tetsuya at the first position, Tetsuya will be fighting this guy. Alright, but because in the battle, when you apply Tetsuya here, this enemy, it won't be opposite Tetsuya, it's actually mirror. So the moment you put Tetsuya at the first position, he will actually fight the guy at the right side, if that makes sense, because it's a mirror position, right? So let me show you. Okay, so Tetsuya here, he will be targeting this guy here, because this is considered the first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. While our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is actually a mirror. And if you look at the setting here, they actually added a few numbers here to make it easier to understand. So Tetsuya here is position number 1, then enemy here is position number 1. So I will be fighting this green hair guy and not this one. It's not like instantly the opposite. Okay, then Tetsuya here will always be in this shock mode here, which is basically his umbrage and also being in the stealth mode. So he won't get target, and AoE damage incoming will reduce the damage by 80%. Alright, so if we actually make it to 5 speed, you actually see a shark here spinning around like crazy. Alright, so if I bubble up my team, right, so when there's actually AoE damage, let's wait for AoE damage, the damage on Tetsuya is actually going to be a lot more lower compared to them. Alright, never mind. Because they didn't target me, right? Okay, so if I manual by myself, right, it's not in auto mode. If I want to attack this guy when I'm selecting him and I cast my skill, Tetsuya will actually aim this guy. This guy, this is the first position, and not the one that I actually target. So if I cast S3, he will instantly hit this guy and not him. Alright, not him. Okay, so then after the first guy die, then Tetsuya attack order will go by the number. So second, third, fourth, fifth, he will attacking him. Alright, so let's say do something like this. Then Tetsuya here, if I go auto mode, he will hit this guy here. Alright, so it won't follow the order, because probably you'll be wondering, so he killed the first one, so he go for the second one, right? But if you put Tetsuya in the middle, if he kill the middle one, he will still always go for the first position after killing them. Alright, Tetsuya will kill the middle guy. Okay, third slot, he will kill this guy. Then after that, he will start attacking from the first slot. Okay, attacking him. Then after this guy dies, then Tetsuya will focus on him. Okay, so it will follow the order the moment he kills the corresponding target unit. Okay, then the other thing is if Tetsuya actually not able to one-shot the target. So let's say I bring it to max level. I want Tetsuya to fight the middle gun. Okay, so if Tetsuya hit this guy and he did not manage to kill her, then he will be out of the umbrage. So let's take a look here. S3, attack. If he failed to kill, then he is no longer able to stay in the water. So that's the disadvantage of Tetsuya, because you really want him to able to one-shot the target. Okay, then the other thing is, since he don't listen to you, will assist actually listen to you. So let's say I'm going to take this down, I'm going to put Chuy out here to force him to assist the target that I actually want to fight. Alright, so let's say Tetsuya is at the 4th position, he will be targeting this guy. But if I use Chuy to force him damage on this guy, he will actually listen. S1, then Tetsuya will come out from the water, punch, slap him 2 times, then go back into the water. So in terms of assist, he will listen to it and it will follow the target who assists. So from what we tested, it will be working for like Shenpin, Yuran, Alice, Liam, this kind of unit that have assist. He will listen to them to attack the target the assist actually target for. But other than assist, like for example your own manual content, he won't be listening to you. He will kill the corresponding target first, then in order, killing them by in order, like from first one, then go for the second one, then for the third one. Okay, then the other interesting thing about Tetsuya is actually when you are fighting Ikki. So Ikki is one of the annoying thing about Ikki is he always stays in stealth mode, right? And the moment he's at stealth mode, he cannot actually attack, nobody can actually attack Ikki unless you actually kill him by AoE damage. But with Tetsuya here, we're actually able to do it now. So if I pick Tetsuya here, and then I put it to the position of where Ikki is, and then the other unit, I just randomly put in some support just to make my team able to survive. Okay, I put this, and then I put Fatal Sister. Alright. Then, cause I'm putting the same position as Ikki, so even Ikki is at stealth mode, I will be able to target Ikki. Alright, let's take a look here. And I take action, bubble up, just let them take the action first. Alright, now my Tetsuya is here, and the corresponding position will be Ikki. So if I go auto mode, you will still see Tetsuya will force himself to fight Ikki. See? He will still force to attack Ikki. Alright, I can't kill him because I'm not geared, I did not trade anything, but you get a point. Like, which is the moment you put Tetsuya at the position of Ikki, even though it's stealth mode, that cannot be targeted by single target damage, but as long as it's at the corresponding position, then Tetsuya is actually able to bypass the stealth mode to actually punch Ikki. Okay, one interesting thing is, so we all know that Meta Ira won't get damage at all as long as Meta Ira is at Secondo. So if I put him at the second slot, then he will always force himself to fight Meta Ira, even Meta Ira have the 50 hit block. So it's not really a good idea if you want to put Tetsuya in a defense team, because player can just put Meta Ira here and actually just block all Tetsuya's damage. Because Tetsuya will keep fighting Meta Ira until Meta Ira die, while Meta Ira actually have 50 hit block, so that's not really a good idea to make Tetsuya fight Meta Ira. So another example is the Mavis. So usually Mavis have all the highest AI aggro priority. So every single Esper, usually they will try to kill Mavis as fast as possible. But for Tetsuya case, he will actually try to, he will ignore Mavis and just focus on the target you position for. So let's say I take this down, I'm gonna put Petros here. So Tetsuya here won't get Leo to Mavis. Tetsuya will focus target and actually kill Oli. So let's say a team like this, usually player will want your Esper to actually kill Mavis while Oli will protect Mavis, right? So we can do something like Tetsuya putting here, then Petros to counter Mavis protection to protect Oli, then the other here just whatever. I'm just gonna do this. Alright, so if I S1, and then my S3, Sally S3, Petros will be focusing target on Mavis because that is how the AI work. Every AI will try to kill Mavis first, while for Tetsuya, he will be focusing on Oli first. So he will totally ignore Mavis' position. He will just focus on Oli to try to kill Oli first. And then with the Dispel, he can actually just keep on dispelling Oli invincibility and kill Oli, something like that. So the mechanic itself, like for example, if you play Moriyama, right? Moriyama S3 will always land to Mavis first because that is the highest aggro. While if you put Tetsuya in the position that you want to counter specific Esper, then Tetsuya will have the highest priority. So these are some of the interesting thing about Tetsuya. I haven't tried him too deep yet because there's actually a lot of things to test, like for example the JVIT one. But for now, this is what I have for Tetsuya. If you have anything you want me to actually try, you can also feel free to comment down, let me know as well. So I'll give it a shot and test it out at test server before it goes out to global. Hope you guys enjoyed the video and see you guys in the next one. Bye bye. Special thanks for the direct support on the YouTube membership. So for the benefactor of Artiar, which is Sky Elk, Trekhan, thank you so much for your support. And for the supporter or patron of Artiar, which is Louis Schneider, Agni, Wang Tamer, Ziggy, Kamaruki, Sunwaltz, Rimu, Chani, Antonio Winterspoon, Rocco Stendions, thank you so much for your support. And also special thanks to the Super Thanks MVP, HMZ Rings, thank you so much for your support. Special thanks for the direct support on the live stream super chat for the latest tag. Thank you so much for Code Wilderness, Calamity, Agni, Love Fatima, Fatima Little Underwear, Bloods, Riku Fred, Chani. Thank you so much for your support.